Hello dear students, this is the second video of this week, Class 8, Chapter number 9, Computer Networks. In the previous class, we have already discussed about protocols and we have to discuss about different types of protocols. So first one is the TCP IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. And we have also discussed about 4 layers of TCP IP, that is application layer, transport layer, network layer and data link layer. All the 4 layers work on network whenever we send any message to another computer. So these all the 4 layers work whenever we send any message on the internet. Whenever we send the request to the server, these all 4 layers work. Okay, now today we will discuss some different topics. Let us have a look here. So today we will discuss about different protocols. First one is the file transfer protocol. Second one is the point-to-point protocol. Third one is the hypertext transfer protocol, and fourth is hypertext transfer protocol secure, HTTPS. I will also discuss the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. Let us start with the FTP, file transfer protocol. A file transfer protocol, FTP, is a standard internet protocol for transmitting files between the computers on the internet over TCP/IP connections. FTP lets people and applications exchange and share data within their offices and across the internet. So whenever there is exchange of data takes place, sharing of data takes place across the internet or within an office, okay, this types of protocol is used. I've already told that what is protocol. It is some set of rules which is required on the internet. These set of rules are set up on the server, and whenever we exchange files, whenever we transfer files from one place to another place, these set of rules work. Okay, I've also given the example of traffic control. In traffic signals, we have to follow the traffic rules, that we have to walk on the left side of the road, we have to follow the signals at zebra crossing, that we have to stop at red signal and we have to wait for the yellow signal, and we can move while the green light glows on the signal. So that type of rule we always follow on the zebra crossing. So in case of file transfer on internet, we also have to follow some types of rules. Understood? So file transfer protocol is a setup of rules. It is a standard internet protocol for transmitting files between computers on the internet over TCP/IP connections, and it can exchange and share the data within their offices and across the internet. Next point, FTP is a client-server protocol where a client will ask for a file. Again, FTP is a client-server protocol where client will ask for a file and the local or remote server will provide it. The local or remote server will provide that file if that file is available on the server. Understood? But it has to use the file transfer protocol. Coming to the next, we can see this picture. Suppose the client A wants a file from the server. Okay, it can use FTP, file transfer protocol. The server will return the file, or if the client A wants to send the file to the client B, it can send by using FTP, but first it will send to the server and the server will send to the client B. Understood? You can see first client can be connected to the server and the second client is also connected to the server, and both are using file transfer protocol. In this way, file can be transferred from one place to another. Now coming to point-to-point protocol, PPP. In computer networking, point-to-point protocol is a data link layer. We have discussed about 4 layers of the protocol. What are the 4 layers? You can see. What are the 4 layers? Application layer, transport layer, network layer, and data link layer. So TCP/IP works on application layer, and here we are talking about data link layer. We are talking about data link layer in the point-to-point protocol. Okay, it is a data link layer communication protocol between two routers directly without any host or any other networking in between. It is the communication protocols between two routers directly. Understood? And it can routers. What are routers? Routers are used to connect two servers. Okay, routers are used to connect two offices at two different places. So this type of point-to-point protocol can be used in a data link layer communication. And this type of point-to-point network is used, and it is a data link layer communication protocol between two routers directly without any host or any other networking in between. Next point you can see, it can provide connections, authentication, transmission, encryption, and compression. So many things are provided in point-to-point protocol. First, authentication, connection authentication. Second, it is providing transmission encryption, means your data is encrypted in a form, in a secure form, so that no one can see your data. And compression is also, it also provides compression of data. Data compression means you can compress your data and you can store a large data within a small space. Understood? Next point, a point-to-point connection is a private data connection securely connecting two or more locations for private data service. Okay, it is a private data connection for connecting two or more locations. Okay, and a point-to-point network can also be configured to carry voice, video, internet, and data services together over the same point-to-point connection. Next point you can see, originally PPP means point-to-point protocol was often used for dial-up connection. In the few years ago, these types of protocols were used much more for dial-up connections. But nowadays, it is still used for DSL with PPP over Ethernet. You can see PPP OE means PPP over Ethernet. Ethernet is a private network and it is very fast. And PPP OA means over ATM. PPP over ATM. Nowadays, at some places, in case of ATM or in case of private networking, it is still used. Ethernet is a costly connection and it is a private connection. Whenever you take a lease line or some types of Ethernet cable, you have to pay more money to the service provider. Understand? You can see the picture of a PPP. There are two routers, router number 1 and router number 2 are connected. This router is connecting to the LAN here, and again the another router is connecting another LAN, and both the routers are connected to each other using PPP, point-to-point protocol. Now coming to the next topic, hypertext transfer protocol. how does hypertext transfer protocol work? As a request response protocol, actually HTTP gives users a way to interact with the web resources such as HTML files by transmitting hypertext messages between clients and servers. HTTP clients generally use transmission control protocol. Generally, HTTP clients use hyper uh, transmission control protocol. They generally use TCP connections to communicate with server. Okay, so whenever you are creating your web page, it also follows hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, whenever you launch your website or your web page on the server, it also follows HTTP. And next point you can see hypertext transfer protocol is an application layer protocol for transmitting hypermedia documents. Hypermedia documents means such documents like web page or website, okay, such as HTML, the document which is created using HTML, and it was designed for communication between web browsers and web servers. Actually, why HTTP has been designed? For the communication between web browsers like Google Chrome and web server, which gives the facility of storing your website. Okay, so the communication between web browsers and web servers, but it can also be used for other purposes. Next point, the HTTP server is typically a web host running web server software. It is generally used for running web server software. Okay, such as Apache or IIS. These are the examples of web server software. Next, last point, you can see HTTP is a protocol used to transfer data over the web. By using this protocol, by using this set of rules, you can transfer your data over the web, means over the internet. And HTTP uses a server client model. It also uses a server client model. You can see simply HTTP client is directly connected to the HTTP server, and it can request, it can give request to the server, and the server will reply. Okay, using HTTP. Now coming to the next topic, HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is the extension of Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, and it is used for secure communication over the computer network and is widely used for internet. You can see HTTPS. It stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, and it is a protocol for securing the communication. In the case of HTTP, it was not secure. HTTP was not secure. Whenever we have a communication on the server, we have a communication with the server. In case of HTTP, it is not secure, but in the case of HTTPS, the communication is secure. Why it is secure? I will tell you the answer. First, you can see this point. It is a protocol for securing the communication between two systems. Example, the browser and the web server. The following figure illustrates the difference between communication over HTTP and HTTPS. You can see. In the case of HTTP, suppose the browser is accessing some files, okay, and it is giving, suppose you have entered username, password, etc. Okay, so the server, directly your message will go to the server and server will respond. This is the web server. It will respond and the page will open. Okay, so this type of communication over HTTP. But in case of HTTPS, whenever you get any types of form like username and password, and whenever you fill up that form and send request to the server, that username and password will be changed to some types of digits. It will be encrypted. You can see the name will be encrypted, means some types of coding. It will be changed into some types of coding so that no one can understand your username and password. No one can read your username and password. Understood? So that's why HTTP is much secure than HTTP. HTTPS is much secure than HTTP. And again, the server will respond to the browser. Understood? But it again gives the encrypted message so that no one can understand. Understood? No one can see your message, no one can understand your message. So it is secure, it is encrypted. So this types of communication takes place over HTTPS. You can see HTTPS uses a secure socket layer SSL. You can see here in this presentation I did it. It is the HTTPS. It is the combination of the hypertext transfer protocol and it is the combination of, in the case of HTTP, it is insecure connection, but in the case of HTTPS, it is encrypted connection, means it is secured connection. Okay, and you can see HTTPS is a connection of hypertext transfer protocol with a secure socket layer, means both are mixed together. HTTP is mixed with secure socket layer and it becomes HTTPS. Okay, or you can say secure socket layer or transport layer security. It is an HTTPS is an internal internet communication protocol that protects the integrity and confidentiality of data between the user's computer and the site. Users expect a secure and private online experience with using the when using the website. You can see HTTP plus SSL secure socket layer, it becomes HTTPS. Okay, you can see some more points on the internet. This is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP transfer data in hypertext format, while HTTP transfer data in encrypted format. You can see the first difference. Second, usage port 80 by default, but it uses port 443 by default. It is not secured, but in HTTPS it is secured using SSL technology, secured socket layer technology. It starts with the page, URL page, the URL of the page starts with HTTP colon double forward slash, while in the case of HTTPS it starts with HTTPS colon double forward slash. You can see in this page it also starts with HTTPS, means this page is also secured because in the URL address you can see here it starts with HTTPS. So I think you have understood the difference and you have understood all the types of protocols. So thanks for watching this video, children.